Now let us quickly look at the scapular movements. You have to understand that when we are talking about the shoulder abduction, a lot of muscles are involved. It is basically elevation of the humerus, and in the elevation of humerus, there is also movement of the scapula. Actually, when it is elevation of humerus plus lateral rotation of the scapula, there will be a lateral rotation of scapula. You will find that in the lateral rotation of scapula, the glenoid cavity of scapula, which is normally laterally facing, will be now superiorly facing. So scapula laterally faces the glenoid cavity, and when it is rotating, the glenoid cavity faces superior, so that humerus can go still higher, overhead abduction. Now, if you say so, also remember, when you are doing 180 degree of shoulder abduction, out of that, the ratio is that elevation of humerus will be 120 degree and remaining 60 degree will be the lateral rotation of scapula. So that is the ratio actually, because both of the things happening simultaneously. If you have done 180 degree of shoulder abduction, then you have moved the elevation of humerus 120 degree and remaining 60 degree was actually due to rotation of the scapula, lateral rotation of scapula. You mean to say 1:2 ratio? Yes, it is 1:2 ratio. 2 is the movement of humerus and 1 is the movement of the scapula. Also remember, who is doing the initiation of the abduction? If you say initiation of the abduction, it is done by supraspinatus, and supraspinatus muscle is the muscle which is working in the 0 to 15 degree of abduction chiefly. Then what about the next stage of movement? Like if I am doing the movement from 15 degree to 90 degree. If it is 15 degree to 90 degree, then you have the muscle deltoid chiefly working. And what about the 90 degree movement to 180 degree, which is also called overhead abduction? If you say overhead abduction, there are two muscles working together, and they are called as the serratus anterior plus the trapezius muscle. So serratus anterior plus trapezius is for 90 to 180 degree. You mean to say initiation 0 to 15 degree supraspinatus? Yes. And 15 to 90 degree, you have the deltoid chiefly working. Yes. And 90 to 180 degree, it is serratus anterior plus trapezius together. Yes, that is the point here, overhead abduction. But be careful, because all the muscles are working all the time. Means all these muscles start working from 0 degree itself. But chiefly, they have a particular portion of movement. You mean to say when I'm doing 0 to 15 degree movement, that time not only supraspinatus working, but also deltoid and serratus trapezius, all of them working? Yes, maybe you have moved by 0 to 15 degree. All of them are working, but chiefly working is here. In this degree, all of them are working, but chiefly working is here. Like that. You have to remember. Now, once you have that orientation, what is the answer to this question? It is asking what is not happening during abduction. If you say what is not happening during abduction, then I think immediately I got my answer. Which one? This medial rotation. Why? Because it is not medial rotation, it is lateral rotation. This is wrong. This is the answer. You mean to say you are going to elevate the humerus? Of course, that is called shoulder abduction, elevation of humerus. You mean to say you are doing some movement at the clavicle also? Yeah, sternoclavicle and the acromioclavicle joint, there is some abduction happening. So they are correct. Yes, they are correct. So choice number A is the answer. Yes. Why it is the answer? Because you have known when we are elevating the humerus, which is called as shoulder abduction, you are having lateral rotation of the scapula, basically done by serratus anterior and trapezius muscle. So it is lateral and not medial? No. Okay, so that is the answer. Yes, that is the answer. Because elevation of humerus is, of course, you have to elevate the humerus if you do shoulder abduction. And of course, this sternoclavicular joint and the acromioclavicular joint, they are both working when we are doing shoulder abduction. So this remains the answer. Yes, that is the answer. See, this is 120 degree and the movement was done by the humerus elevation, and this is the 60 degree. The movement was done by scapular rotation, lateral rotation of scapula. So that total 180 degree movement is happening. This 180 degree movement of shoulder abduction is divided into 120 degree movement, which is elevation of the humerus, and the 60 degree contributed by lateral rotation of the scapular bone. Okay, then 0 to 15 degree, who is working? Supraspinatus. And who is working from 15 to 90 degrees? Some books will say 100, but it is 90 degree. So deltoid, yes. And more than 90? More than 90, trapezius will begin. More than 90, trapezius will begin. But then it is serratus also helping after 100 degree. So trapezius begins early, yes. But both of them are working for 90 degree to 180 degree of the scapular rotation plus elevation of humerus and overhead abduction.